Hello and welcome to today's video. We have made it. It is finally the 1st of February. January is finally over. I don't know if it's the same for you, but January just seemed to have taken like a year. It's been ridiculously long and there's so much that has happened in that 1 month. So today I'm going to talk about reflection and how reflection can help us achieve a happier balance. So if you've not seen me before, my name is Abby the Mindset Fairy and I help you turn your dreams into a reality. If you have seen me before, then welcome back. So what do I mean by balance and reflection? Well, first of all, it's a really, really significant tool in helping you achieve a healthier mindset and helping you outweigh the negatives that happen within our lives. So January has been one of those months where pretty much every single person that I've spoken to, whether or not they've been my clients, my friends, my family, it's just been one thing after another. There's just, for some reason, we all started 2024 thinking it was going to be our year. It was going to be amazing. We got over the awful 2023. Everything was going to go great. And for some reason, all of that has just come through into our new year and just made January, which is normally a hard month anyway, just be so much harder. So if this is something that you've been experiencing, then you are not alone, because so many people are going through it. And we finally got to February and it's almost that sigh of relief, isn't it? I've got through January. I've only got 28 days and then it's spring and things start to look up. So unfortunately, when you do have a situation where it's just one thing after another and lots of things are happening, we have a tendency to hold on to the negatives. So what it is whenever you have a negative experience, our brains actually store that more successfully than they store positive. So it means that we can then start to feel just so run down and just so dragged down by it all. We go into like survival mode, fight or flight, because we just end up really stressed because all we're focusing on is the negatives. And it's really difficult to get out of that. And obviously, when you're focusing on the negatives, it impacts your ability to see the way forward. And you can't effectively see the wood through the trees. You get so stuck in it that you can't then work toward your goals. And we slip into habits that aren't aligned to where we want to be and what we want to do. And a really, really good tool to help us shift out of that is reflection. So by reflection, what I mean is having a look at everything that's happened, but having a look at everything that's happened from a neutral standpoint. What was good, what was bad, what went well, what didn't go well. And then weighing that out to look at it more evenly, and you'll be surprised to see just how many things went right. And that helps us achieve a little bit more of a healthier balance. It helps shift us away from the pessimism for the glass half empty into more of the neutral, okay, well, actually things weren't so bad and how do I move forward? So it's a really, really good tool. Lots of people use reflection in different ways. So some people do it on like the whole meditation side, where if you're quite a spiritual person, then you might find that through meditation, through just being still and breathing, you can effectively project yourself out of your body and view everything that's happened. Some people find it really useful to do it through prayer. Other people do it through things like gratitude journals as well. All of these are very, very good tools to help you reflect on what has happened. One of the simplest things that you can actually do is to make a list. I am a big fan of lists. I have lists for every part of my life, and it's how I keep organized. But if you make a list, have a positive and a negative column of everything that's happened. When you start doing this and reflecting on everything that's happened over the last month, you will find that your negative list gets longer and longer and longer, and you're not putting a lot on the positive. And that is perfectly normal, because as I've just said, we do retain the negative information a lot more than we retain the positive. So you will naturally find that to start off with, you're only focusing on the negatives that's happened. So don't get worried about that. Just write it all down, look at it and go, okay, so that wasn't great. That's everything that's happened. And when it comes to doing the positive side, you'll probably start off by going, well, nothing happened positive. I can't think of anything. Don't get discouraged. We all do it. What I want you to do is look through your calendar for the last month, because you'll find that in there'll be things that you've put into your calendar, like meeting up with a friend for coffee, going out for dinner with someone, kids awards ceremony. There'll be lots of different things in there that you've put into your calendar of events that you have actually done over the last month. And when you start to focus on those things and go, well, actually, yeah, I did meet so and so for a coffee, and actually we had a really good chat and I felt really good afterwards, that's a really good, nice positive. Actually, I did attend this, or I had that job interview and it didn't go how I wanted it to, but I had amazing feedback and I only lost out because an internal applicant happened or something like that. So when you start to look at it as a more positive, you're not getting the job goes from the negative column and actually moves across into your positive, because actually there was nothing more you could have done. So then you will actually start to find that some of the things that are in your negative column naturally migrate into the positive column. And once you've got that list, you can actually sit and you can work through it and have a look to see what has actually happened. And the stuff that are negative, have a look at whether or not that's something that's outside of your control. Because lots of things happen that are completely outside of our control. It's just one of those things. And when you start to look at it as a basis that actually out of those things, what could I control to make better? What could my mindset, my attitude make a difference to? Some of it will make its way into the positive and others will stay there, but they won't seem so negative. And then once you start to do that, you're already shifting your mindset into that more positive viewpoint. And actually, you'll actually have a look at those negatives and go, well, actually, no, I can build on that, because I might not have got that job, but I did get positive feedback and the recruiter's going to put me through for other stuff because I'm a really good candidate. So that is a positive moving forward into your month of February, that there will be other job opportunities coming and they will be better for you and they'll be more aligned to what you want to do. It may be that you didn't hit your health and fitness goals because you didn't go to the gym 5 times a week, but you did go 3 times a week, and 3 times a week is still better than what you did in December. So it is then a positive because it's still an improvement. And when we get into the habit of doing this and into the habit of looking from a more balanced, neutral standpoint and reflecting back on what has happened from that viewpoint, we start to view our experiences differently, and you start to create the building blocks for what you need to overcome obstacles in the future and to work towards those goals. And it's one of those things that a lot of people do daily affirmations or daily prayers or daily gratitude checklists. It's something that I'm started to do with my daughter at school, because sometimes she comes away from school and she's just like, oh, well, it's just an awful day. And when we actually look at it and we go through it all, actually it really wasn't. There was just a couple of things that weren't great. So we started to do writing a diary before she goes to bed of just talking about everything that happened that was positive on that day, and then actually she's then starting the next day more positive. And it's through having those healthier habits that we start to build in that resilience with that healthier mindset, and we start to build that balance into our lives of getting into the habit of looking at things more objectively. And in order to be able to achieve those goals, not every single thing is going to go your way. I would love to say it was a nice straight line from A to B to get to where your goals are. But the reality is, as we all know, life happens and nothing goes quite so smoothly. But when you start to work at it from a more positive viewpoint and you start to build in those habits to shift something into a more positive way by reflecting back on it neutrally and achieving that healthy balance, we all have bad days. We all have days where literally nothing went right. But when you look at it over the space of actually, but in a week, it was one bad day instead of a whole week. In a month, it was 3 or 4 bad days across a whole month. Then we start to view the world a lot more optimistically. And creating that balance enables us to put more into everything that we're doing. Because if you have something that you want to do and you're really fired up and you're really positive about it and you're really like, yes, this is what I want to do, this is going to help me achieve what I want to achieve, we put so much more effort into it and it's much more likely to work, and it's much more likely to really catapult us over that obstacle into the next level of our journey towards our destination. Because when you're thinking of it, well, everything always goes wrong and nothing always works, you're already pulling yourself back. So that's really the message for today. Look back over everything that has happened, try and split it into positives and negatives, and then look at the negatives and really have a look from an objective point of view and see, can I make this into a positive? And that's a good sign that it's time for me to finish and look at it that way and shift it into more positive. So that's the message for today, and I hope it all helped, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.